Hello. I would like to tell you a story today. Back in 1967, a new TV show, Dragnet, used this opening. The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. My stories are also true, and I do not name any names. So, let's get started. This story is about being a rebellious teenager, and about how much patience and love my parents had for me. This story starts when I was about 10, and we moved from a city into a small town that was a farming community. It was hard to leave old friends and make new ones, and I made some bad decisions about my new friends. Suffice it to say, I started down the wrong path in my attitude and actions. My father and mother recognized the symptoms and came up with a possible solution, several of them. They believed if I could get away from the wrong influences, I would straighten up. So the first summer, when I was about 12, Dad arranged for me to spend the summer working on a dairy farm in another state. I was a total city weakling with no idea of how a dairy farm ran. I didn't learn how to drive a tractor, which sounded fun. I did learn how to catch hay bales onto a skid with a hook and help stack them in the yard. I learned how to wash and get milkers on a cow and feed them grain and hay. I was always amazed they would be waiting at the gate when it was time for the milking. I also learned that I wasn't big enough to make much difference if they wanted to shift around while being milked. I had bruises from that. And I learned other things, none of which I did well, because I didn't grow up doing them and haven't done them since. I worked for room and board. No money was involved. I needed years to learn enough to be of much help on that dairy farm, and the parents and older children were very patient with me. But two younger boys thought I was a total noob and loved to tease and make fun of me. I deserved it because at times my attitude was rotten. I hadn't asked to be there and was sent against my desires. And I was miserably homesick. I had never been away from home before. I developed a gut ache, which later was diagnosed as a stomach ulcer. Everyone thought I was just making it up to get out of work, but finally they believed me, and I had to return home before the summer was over. The next summer, Dad sent me to work on a beaver ranch. The beavers were being raised for their pelts. They lived in concrete pens that had fresh flowing water through them. Their pens had to be kept clean. Guess who got to clean them? They also had to have fresh trees and special food pellets put in their pens every day. That was what I did for most of that summer. The owner said he would pay me by giving me an old motorcycle he had, but it never became mine. I didn't even have a driver's license. I think Mom or Dad put the stop to that idea. I did get to ride it with two of my younger brothers just around the yard, and this is a picture of that. The second year wasn't so hard on me, and one thing happened that later proved to be a coincidence in my life. One day, I accompanied the ranch owner to another beaver ranch to get more food pellets. While there, I noticed an attractive young lady walk past where we were loading the pellets. It was only for a few seconds, but I remembered it several years later when I met her again. While we were getting acquainted, I found out that was her. Her family was in the beaver business. I married her. Did working on the farm and ranch help with the delinquency problems? I don't know, but it did teach me to value people who work hard for the milk and produce we see in the store. Both summers were hard work, and perhaps they helped me physically as well. But the more my parents tried to change my attitude, the worse I became. I didn't recognize the love they had for me at the time. I was just an angry teenager. One time, while sassing my mother, my father intervened and I ended up with a bloody nose. Actually, I think it might have been broken. There were many times I was disobedient and a real brat. I'm not proud of those years. I didn't really see I needed to change until my 16th birthday. But that's another day's story. If you're interested, the video is called A Choice. Thank you for your time.